Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And we know that in Scotland, when anything ever goes wrong, it's because the SNP have got involved. They are a bunch of morons who don't know what they're doing, but do feel confident enough to interfere when the adults are in the room. And no one is worse than this, of course, than John Swinney, who, despite knowing nothing about trams, nothing about railways, nothing about public transport, nothing about town planning, nothing much about anything really, felt he needed to keep and continually interfere in the Edinburgh Trams fiasco. Change this, push that out there, let's move that. That kind of thing. And indeed a report that was released in September mentioned his name over 100 times as being key in pushing the price up from about 375 million to nearly £1 billion. Because he can't stop interfering, even though he knows nothing about it. And what was also telling, of course, is that Mary McCallan, the Saturday girl, gave a speech and didn't mention his name once because, you don't want to drop your mate in it. Makes you wonder what he's got on her. Not a lot, I'd imagine, because I don't think that she is his type at all. I'll say no more. I think we all know exactly what's going on with Mr. Swinney. But we will have a look at this story, see why the people of Scotland have again, once more, been taken literally for a ride, this time on the trams, to the tune of nearly £1 billion, which it should have never have been anywhere near. Here goes. So, SNP accused of failing to accept responsibility for a £500 million loss of public money during the Edinburgh Trams shamble. Yeah, I mean, the price just went because people like Swinney wanted to get a bit touchy-feely with all the plans. John Swinney was partially blamed for the huge increase in costs of the Edinburgh Trams, being mentioned over 100 times. But the Scottish Government's Rural Affairs Secretary, the Saturday girl, Mary McCallan, failed to mention him once in her statement about lessons being learnt. Well, they must be very, very well educated because they all seem to be learning lessons, the SNP. Every time anything goes wrong, those lessons must be learned. They never are. Anyway, the SNP have been accused of failing to accept any responsibility for the £500 million cost of the shambolic Edinburgh Trams project. Well, of course they're not going to accept responsibility. I mean, they don't accept responsibility for anything, do they? I mean, if it had gone right, it would have been their fault, Oh, look at us, we did it, we got it right. It's never going to go right. Nothing they do ever goes right. A damning report was published in September which pointed out that Scottish Government ministers, and in particular John Swinney, were partly to blame for the over-budget initiative. Well, if he stopped poking his big nose in, it may have got on a bit better, Despite the former party Deputy First Minister being named more than 100 times in the lengthy publication, he was not mentioned once by Mary McCallan. Instead, she laid the blame on Edinburgh City Council and attempted to downplay her party's role in it. Because of course she is. She can't have the SNP be seen to get another thing wrong. By the time you take out, every single thing that's ever go wrong, this is just another one. They may as well take the blame. We all know. They're not fooling anyone, are they? Anyway, an inquiry into the trams was set up in 2014 to examine why it went significantly over budget, with it costing £776 million then, from an initial budget of £375. £500 million of public cash was ploughed into it as well, and the report found that the best estimate is now £835.7 million. So you're getting on towards £1 billion after borrowing costs, compensation, outstanding claims and other items were fully factored in, and it hasn't finished yet. Lord Hardy made some damning conclusion within it, and he placed some of the blame on the then Finance Secretary and moron John Swinney, who was accused of making key decisions which negatively affected the project. He was making decisions, but he didn't know what he was doing. He doesn't understand engineering, construction, doesn't understand. We mentioned all the things he doesn't understand before. He doesn't understand anything. And yet he felt, yes, we'll do that, we'll do this, we'll make that decision there. Won't ask an expert because, hey, this is the SNP. They're all experts at everything, apparently. Former Transport Minister Stuart Stevenson also came in for criticism. They should all come in for criticism, everyone who's involved with it. He highlighted that Mr Swinney ordered Transport Scotland to scale back its involvement in the project in 2007, meaning that officials who had expertise were left out of any decision making afterwards. Yeah, because you don't want the experts involved in anything, because experts tell you what you want, what you need to do, and that may not be what you want to do, and that's not the SNP way. But Miss McCallan disputed any notion that this was a bad thing, claiming this was how they only managed to lose 500 million instead of more cash. Oh, so only losing 500 million was a victory. Was it, Mary? Really? Damn almighty, girl. Anyway, she said failure to clarify the role of Transport Scotland would have been an abdication of leadership and would have led to poor governance. Led to poor governance? Led to it? My heavens to Betsy. You had poor governments from the start because the SNP was involved. Led to it. Unbelievable. How could she stand there with a straight face and let these words come out of her mouth without cracking up? Anyway, the decision to alter the governance arrangements was taken explicitly to avoid uncertainty about where leadership of the project lay, clarifying the government's role as principal funders and on that base preventing further calls on the public purse. And it was exactly because of the clarity and clear setting of governance boundaries, he said, that government funding for the project remained capped at the agreed 500 million and not a penny more. Yeah, but by then you'd already screwed it up 3 times. Rather than going, right, look, we want one terminus there, and we go stops here, get on with it, and then just hand it over to a company that can actually do it. Walk away and stop government people and politicians getting their big snoots in the way and interfering and changing plans. Get your core basic in, and if you want to extend it later, do so. But get your core in and just let them get on with the job. All the time, we see this all the time. 35 years in construction, I see it all the time. Let the builders build, and they do it really, really efficiently. But when you get councils coming in and changing their mind, everything slows down and the price goes through the roof. We had to build we were doing an estate. It's a tangent time. We were doing an estate, and all of a sudden, in the middle of this, where we were going to have this, and this sort of thing, and we were putting a little parade in. Little parade of shops were going in as well, because it was about 500 units, and they wanted little parade of shops to sort of service this estate. And that's fine. We put 4 shops in, and so one would be, and I think they also wanted a pub in the end, but we didn't build that. They got another contractor in to build the pub, but we did these 4 shops as part of it, and we'd finished. We'd arranged, and we'd done right. There's the planning. It's all been approved. The design's all been approved. Everything's done. We'd literally started breaking the ground to put these little parade of 4 shops in, and they came back and said, "Oh, we need to change it." What? Well, we want 3 shops and we want a library. So we had to wait another 3 months for it all to go through design and planning again. Started again. Boom. They went back. No, we've changed our mind. We want the library over there, and we're going to put the 4th shop back in. What should have been a 3-month job ended up taking 3 years because councils, and of course it costs money every single day. I mean, it didn't cost us. We were charging the council. Every time they wanted a design change, we sent it off to the architects. Bang, that came back. We just sent the council the bill. And everything, and all the build, it all went there. We had to pay. It was charging the council for it. Every time they changed them, it was the council taxpayers who were paying. And a 3-month job turned into a 3-year job. All that extra money because nobody can make their minds up. Councils, politicians, keep your nose out. Anyway, Scottish Tory MSP. Sorry about the tangents, I keep doing it. Scottish Tory MSP for Lothian, Miles Briggs, accused the SNP ministers of refusing to accept their role in the failure of the project. Because of course they won't. They can't be seen to fail. The SNP never fail, do they? The former Deputy First Minister, John Swinney, is mentioned 156 times by name in the report, but not once by the Cabinet Secretary in her statement. The Cabinet Secretary, he says, states that the only cause of failure attributed to the actions of the Scottish Minister was the decision, following the debate in Parliament on June 2007, to reposition Transport Scotland as the principal funder, as opposed to a project partner. That, he said, is the understatement of the century. Of course they're going to fail. SNP fail at everything. And when you get idiots like that put in charge of decision making, what do you expect? What do you expect? The man is a moron. They're all morons. Why not employ someone to make the decisions for you? Someone who knows what they're talking about. Oh no. No. Can't have that. They've all got to get their big beaks in, haven't they? Also makes you wonder how much backhanders and backsheesh these people are getting. Anyway, I'll stop there and come up. Now, of course, being an incompetent buffoon with sort of rumours of backhanders involved and things like that, which I'm not going to say they're true. They're not true. I'm sure they're not true. I'm sure that John Swinney is as honest as the day is, long. I won't have a word said against him in his honesty at all, and it's wrong to even question it. So I won't. But that's the least of his worries, of course, when you think about the other sort of rumours that are going around about him, which I'm not going to repeat. But I think we all know they've been around a while now, haven't they? So, yeah, let's leave it there with John Swinney. Not going to say another thing. Anyway, yeah, silence is golden. Anyway, so I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching this video. We all know that the SNP fail at everything because they're all a bunch of failures. Morons and idiots and buffoons. Not one of them ever has learnt the lesson that when something's happening, don't screw it up by interfering. Just let it finish. Let it finish. Let the experts do their job. And then go in at the end and go, oh, well done, we chose great experts. Look at the thing we've managed to do because we didn't interfere. Anyway, till next time, stay safe, stay well, and, when the guy's working, don't stop him. Bye.